everyone, and welcome to episode 12 of From Hope to Glory at Truro City with me, the United City FM. Welcome along. So, today we are in the semi-final of our regional division playoff in the 7th tier of English football. Our Truro City side take on Hyde, and Hyde finished in 3rd spot in the Northern Division, while we finished 2nd in the Southern Division. So, it'll be interesting to see how we can compete with them today. Got no real understanding of how good they are, but let's hope that we can give them a good game, get a few goals and potentially get through to that final. Let's see how we get on. So, as is the case between these particular games since the end of the season, there's no time that's been. It's only a couple of days that have moved on. So there's nothing to tell you about really, other than the issue with the transfers, the contracts. If we go and have a look into our squad page, you can see that a fair chunk of our squad, they've got end of contracts coming up in the next 24 hours. And we've still potentially got another game to play before we finish this season. And those two don't quite marry up. Now, I'm not 100% sure. Tell me about this in the comments if you know. I'm not quite sure how it's decided which one of these goes straight on to a rolling contract or whether which one of these just leave the club. Is that a club decision? Can I impact that decision? Do the players make that choice? How does that work? Because I'm not 100% sure. What I don't need is half a dozen players leaving my club just before the final of the playoff. Now, we have made a couple of moves in terms of bringing a couple of players into the club just because we need to make sure that we've got enough cover. And so we got the likes of Morgan coming in at right back. I quite like his pace. That's the reason he's coming in. But he's coming in at right back. We've got another central defender, Horton. He's coming in. He's been waiting to come in for a little while. I think there's a decent central defender in here. That's why we brought him in. I'm not trying to buy just anyone. I still want to buy people I think can improve this squad moving forward. So that's proving difficult. And we've got a couple of other contracts out just at the moment for a striker and a wide man that can play on both. If either of those come off, I'll show you them next episode. But that's what we're currently looking at in terms of the transfer issues because of the lack of contracts. And it's just about the balance of where the end of the season has happened this time round because of all the pandemic stuff, etc., compared to where contracts end. After this season, this won't be an issue anymore, I don't think. So we'll just have to see how we get on in the next couple of the next couple of days, should I say, because we can't get ahead of ourselves. Because first off, we need to beat Hyde United before we even think about playing the final. So, similar to last episode, we have one absentee, and that's Alex Battle. Probably wouldn't have made the squad anyway, but he's good to have in the squad, the wider squad for cover. But he's still got 3 to 6 weeks still out with his injury, so that's his season done, as we talked about last episode. Other than that, everybody else is fit and healthy, raring to go. We name an unchanged side to start the match. Holmes retains his spot on that left-hand side over Garside just at the moment, but he does have to perform a little bit better than he did last game. So we'll just check that out as the game goes on. But other than that, everything is as it was. So we have Hammond in goal, White at right back, Riley Lowe at left back, Murray and Richards in central defence, Allen, Rooney and Harvey in central midfield, Chamberlain on the right, Holmes on the left and Neil up top, with a bench of Downing, Walker, Dixon, Sangster, Garside, Thompson and Rooney. So let's get into today's game and see what happens. Again, we've been very fortunate and been drawn at home in this random draw, so that's a real positive. And so what I've done for the team talk, because we're at home, is I've suggested that we're favourites here. Go out and give the fans a performance to cheer for. Really get the fans behind you and see if they can help us drag ourselves over the line. Again, we're in our 4-2-3-1 formation, which is what has been serving us so well this season. Let's see how Hyde will set up. They set up in the same way. We did okay against that last time out. when we played Morpeth, didn't we? So hopefully we can do as well today, if not a little bit better, because the last few minutes of the Morpeth game were quite nervy, weren't they? Let's see how we get on. So it's a throw in down the left hand side for Riley Lowe into Harvey, moves it central to Alan. Neil drops in to hold the ball up, gets support around him. We maintain possession, which is great. Alan back into Rooney. This is how our side works in this central midfield. Those three players are decent enough on the ball, and he is decent enough in front of goal. Andrew Neil getting another goal for the season. He's got bucket loads of them this time round, and he's been phenomenal for us, and he is contracted to the club next season as well, along with this guy Harvey, two of our big players tied down for next season. So that's positive. Are we going to be able to play in a slightly higher division next season? This is going well so far in this particular match, but Hyde can be very dangerous very quickly, and we're only 8 minutes in, and it's Hyde down the right hand side for them. Deep cross comes in, and they get a goal. And it was unfortunate that it was a Murray clearance that wasn't quite good enough. If you watch how this sweeping ball comes in from the right hand side, Jackson Jr. there passes it out to Miller, gets the long sweeping cross in, and Murray gets his head on the ball. And can't quite clear it well enough. And they get a goal from it, unfortunately. And we go 1-1. And we're now at the sort of 18-minute mark. And we need to maybe chuck a shout out there. So let's fire them up and see if that can help for the next few minutes. Just to put us on the front foot. Maybe go in slightly more aggressively on a couple of challenges. Win the ball a little bit. And then see if we can get some attacking movement going. So far, though, they've doubled the amount of shots that we've had, and they've annihilated us on the shots on target. So we do have one or two issues here going on. A half clearance from White from our penalty box, but it's Hyde that pick up the ball in midfield. Our shape is set. Can we get a foot in and maybe win the ball and counter-attack with a ball up to Neil, who can potentially take the pressure off? There's a good challenge at the back post by White from where the delivery was made. There's the ball up to Neil, drops it back into Harvey. We've got a little bit of support around him. Alan takes over. Through ball to Neil, and it's a weak effort. On this occasion, it's very weak. He went down to the goalkeeper's left, and the goalkeeper had no problems in pouncing on it and claiming the ball, and that takes us through to half-time. Not happy with some of these statistics from the game in terms of our performance. A 0.49 XG rating in such an important game. We need to be improving that. We need to be improving the amount of shots on target. Yeah, it's not fantastic, is it, so far? We got off to a fantastic start, and then it just dipped somewhat. So we're going to have to go in a little bit, I think. We're going to point the finger, and we're going to say, I'm not happy with your performance out there. We're going to just put them straight back out. In terms of match sharpness and other bits, I don't need to change anything of the team just at the moment, although Harvey and Murray are looking a little bit worse than others. But we are going to go back in for a shout and demand more from them, just at the point where Hyde have got a free kick on that far side. Dean steps onto the ball. White with another good-headed clearance, but we've got so many team members back. They won it in uncontested in midfield, and then they hit the woodwork. Okay, we've got to do better, haven't we? So let's think about this. We're at 60 minutes. I'm going to make a couple of changes in a second. So let's pause the game there and go into the tactics a little bit and just check a couple of things out. So we've got a couple of yellow cards for our fullbacks that we might need to sort out, because we can't afford for one of them to get sent off. We've got a very low performing Chamberlain and a very low performing Holmes. Both are wide men. So it's fullbacks and wide men are causing us the problem. Riley Lowe comes out because of his bad rating as well, and it'll be Dixon that takes over for him. And then I think we're going to be brave and leave Shane White there, and we're going to take off the two attacking wide men. And so we're going to put Thompson on the right, and we're going to put Garside on the left. Just see if they can bring some fresh legs to the game for the next few minutes. So we'll press play back and we're going to go back into the shouts, and we're going to focus the team for the last 20 minutes of the game. See if they can focus their energy on producing a couple of opportunities to get us out of this tie in a positive way. But again, it's Hyde that are pushing us in, and they get a chance and they hit the woodwork, and then the follow-up shot goes in. We have to change it. We cannot allow this to happen. So we're pausing the game, going into the tactics, and we're going to go, let's think, we're going to go 4-4-2, and we are going to push Harvey up top with Neil. That's what we're going to do, and that takes us into custom wide play. So both the wide areas are going to be peppering the box, hopefully with crosses, and that's how we're going to try and win this game somehow in the next 20 minutes of the football match, or 10 minutes even, 15 at the most, and a good amount of passing play there, but we let them, we stayed quite narrow in our shape. We were a bit unlucky that the rebound off the post went straight to one of their players, but it did. And that has caused us a problem. Corner kick for us, though. Partially cleared, fully cleared. White will pick up the loose ball for us, though, in a defensive unit. And let's settle the play down. And we tried to go over the top for Thompson, and it didn't quite work. They went over the top, and it was really bad. And it went straight to our goalkeeper, which is fortunate for us. And we get to settle the play down again. And Rooney sends it out wide to Garside. Can we get the cross in? There's the cross to Neil, and he's pushed a little bit wide. Can he find the support? Have we been given a penalty? Harvey will take the penalty. There is a penalty for us in the 79th minute. We can equalise the game here at 2-2. Can we do it? Please, please do it, Harvey. He does. He puts it in that right-hand side. Goalkeeper guessed the right way. Couldn't quite get his hand to it. And with 10 minutes to go, we are back level at 2-2. And I think we're going to leave it as it is in the 4-4-2 and just see if we can put a little bit of the pressure on for the next few minutes now that we've got the momentum a little bit. But again, it's Hyde with a throw-in down their left-hand side. A good block by White. He's having a fantastic game. And Neil holds the play up really well. Has Harvey ahead of him, but he doesn't have the pace to get onto the ball. That's why he's a central creative player more than anything. No pace, but really great on the ball. This time round, can we do it slightly differently? Thompson drops it back to Allen. He's got support in defensive area from Murray. On to Harvey. There's the header. I think he's offside. I think he was offside. He was. It wouldn't have counted even if he'd have got it in. But a decent effort with a header from Harvey onto Neil. That's the sort of thing that we need. Dixon with the ball to Neil, drops back in. Allen takes over. The chance there to put it through on one of the wide areas, but we lose the ball, and we've got hardly a defender in sight. The goalkeeper again parries it onto the post. They drop it back, and then eventually Allen boots it clear for a corner kick for Hyde. Under pressure in the last few minutes of the game, the defence had gone awry there. And there's pinball in the box. They get it back out wide left. Cross comes in. The shot's blocked. And it comes back to them on the edge of the box for Jackson. But again, we get a niggle. Dixon wins the ball straight over the top for Neil. We've got enough support from Thompson on the right-hand side. He's going to take over possession of the ball. Is there a cross coming in? There is the cross. Excuse me. And Neil, I think, got a touch on the ball, but so did defender, and he sends it wide. Corner comes in at the back post, and the header goes wayward. And Hyde are coming back at us again with a free kick down the right-hand side. They take it into the box. Is that offside? It is offside. I was so hopeful it would be. The cross came into the top of the 6-yard box, and just where they were given offside, and that is marginal, but just given in our favour, and we stay at 2-2 with a couple of minutes left. There is the final whistle, and we have to go into extra time and breathe. It took a little bit to get us back in the game, didn't it? We go back into the dressing room. I think we're going to pump the fists, and we'll say, we can still win this. Keep working hard. It will come. Is there a fourth substitution in these playoff games in extra time? I doubt it. But let's just see if we can make one. Let's go into the tactics and just see. Whoa, we've got some really, really low conditioning now, haven't we? What are they going to be like for the final if we get there? Let's see if we can make a defensive change. I don't think we can. No, we can't. They're going to be out on their feet, aren't they? Anyway, straight back in for the second, for the bit of extra time then we have to play. So we'll just have to see how we get on. We're in our 4-4-2, putting the pressure on. Here's Garside with a sweeping free kick to that far post. And it's Murray with the header, but it was just a little bit high and hit the top of the goal, I think. But we've got a few more minutes of this first period of extra time to go, a few more moments, and there's the half time of extra time. It's still all to play for. It feels like we might be going to penalties, doesn't it? And it's a little bit of a lottery then if we do. Can we get one chance to put a goal in for ourselves and take the tie? Let's see how this highlight goes. Dixon goes early for Neil. He almost had that, but not quite. The goalkeeper came and cut down the play, but we still maintained possession momentarily, but a little bit of a wayward ball into the Hyde defensive unit means that they come away with it down the right-hand side, and we've got to be a little bit careful here. And he's got a player in front of him that blocks the route, and Garside mops up the ball, and then Harvey with a fantastic ball for Neil. And the defender gets across and blocks it, and it goes out for a throw-in for us right the way in that corner flag, which doesn't warrant a highlight. But we almost again had Neil through on goal. Good defensive play by Hyde. And here comes the end of extra time. And it's a penalty shootout. Oh boy, this is only the first season. What it's going to be like when we're absolutely, completely entrenched in this side in a few years from now. I'm already a mess watching this, for goodness sake. Right, let me just sort out my penalty takers and then we'll go in and see how we get on. So this is what I've decided in terms of our penalty shootout lineup. We've gone for Neil to start off with, but the key one I find often is fourth place. That one needs to be a decent penalty taker, I often find, and Harvey I've put there. So we'll just see how we get on. But welcome to the lottery of penalty shootouts. In terms of team talk, we'll pump our fists. We'll say, I expect you to win this shootout. And we'll just dive back in for the penalties. And it's our penalty kick first. And it's Neil to step up, and he puts it away. 1-0 to us in the penalty shootout. Let's see how we can get on in terms of our goalkeeper Hammond potentially stopping a couple of these. Lane steps up for Hyde, and Hammond guessed the right way. Couldn't quite get to it, and we're at 1-1. White steps up for us. Please, please, please be good at these. And he is. He puts it in the back of the net for 2-1. We're holding on nerves so far. And it's ball stepping up for Hyde. Again, it's all down to Hammond. Can he get a hand on it? He doesn't. And ball puts it into the corner of the goal. And it's 2-2. Nobody's missed anything yet. Neither goalkeeper have done anything yet. Allen steps up for us and he puts it away for 3-2. I thought for a second the curse of the commentator was going to take over and the goalkeeper was going to save it then, but he didn't. Now's the time for Hammond. Can he get a hand on this one? And he can't quite. And it goes to 3-3. Harvey steps up. A couple of penalties recently in recent matches have been very good. Please don't make a mistake here. Steps up and puts it home for 4-3. And still nobody has missed anything in the shootout. And it's Shootout that steps up for Hyde, left-footed. Come on, Hammond. Can he get a hand on it? He can't. He gets the right way. Was almost there. And he can't quite get the ball out the back of the net. And it's Dixon stepping up for us. Holds his nerve. He does. 5 good penalties. And now we're getting into the real lottery of random penalty takers after the first 5. If it goes that long, we've got one more chance for Hammond to see if he can become the hero and send us through to the final. It's Brownsword that steps up. And Hammond saves it, and we go through to the final of the playoffs in the penalty shootout, 5-4. 5 really fantastic shootout penalties from our boys, all maintaining their composure and putting it exactly where they wanted to. The goalkeeper had no answer for it. And on that last one, Hammond has a strong enough hand to get to the ball and keep it out of the back of the net. And we are in the playoff final. So the final for the playoff system, one-off game, is Truro City versus Whitton Albion. Now, Whitton finished second in the Northern Premier League. So we've played fifth in the Northern Premier League and beat them. We played third in the Northern Premier League and beat them on penalties. And now we get Whitton, who finished second, just like we did in the Southern version, in the final of the playoff. It's going to be a really massive game, isn't it? To try and get up in this first division would be fantastic, having been so close from the original league table. So let's hope that we can do it. In terms of the last thing that I need to tell you about just for today, we didn't do any analysis of the game because of that penalty shootout, etc. Don't want to go too long in the episode. But the last thing to tell you about is that we have had some news regarding all of the contract issues that we've been going through. And what you'll now notice is that pretty much all of the players in our squad, other than those that have got a contract to next year, stayed in the squad and are on rolling contracts. So it looks like we're going to get one more game out of them before in the summer we can really figure out who it is that we want to keep and not keep in this squad. Because there's a bit of dead wood still, especially if we go up. But going up is an issue that we will sort out in the very next episode. It's not going to be a long time. It's like 3 days from now in game or whatever, 4 days. And then we'll be playing Whitton to see if we can get promoted this season. So that's going to be next episode. And then after that episode, I'm going to take a few days off for Christmas. So that will be Wednesday's episode. And by the following Monday, I will come back and we'll continue into next season. But for the next few days after tomorrow, we're going to be having a little bit of a break for Christmas. So we've got one more game to play this season. Whitton in the playoff final. Can we get promoted this season? Join me next episode to find out. Thank you for joining me for today's episode. It was a real nail-biter, wasn't it? Going right the way through to penalties, but we made it. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already and join my United City community, the more the merrier. There's loads of ways to do that as well, by subscribing, by going to Discord, by going and join me on Twitter, by supporting me on Patreon and through my merch store. All of those are all linked in the description below. Click the like button on this particular episode. That helps me continue to grow the channel, and that's after all what I am, just trying to do through providing you content, is continue to grow the channel. So thank you for your support so far. Tomorrow's going to be a big game. Come back and join me for it. I hope you will. Till then, take care of yourselves. I'll see you very soon. Bye for now.